Okay, kung whisky was like half an hour, right? By upside of it. But anyway, well, kisliya ganun sa. I'm gonna try to speak English. Well, what I could say about my experience in Ottawa, you know, I'm trying to shorten it real quick, but it's like when we first arrived in Ottawa, we were we were driving back and forth on that island where there was a bridge that went right over, and me and Jean were driving back and forth, and we were kind of getting upset at each other. You know, it was a short little argument. As you guys know, that first bridge, or some of you may not know, that first bridge is kind of doesn't go directly to the island. So Gene got mad at me. He said, drop me off right here. I'm gonna do this the old school way. I'm gonna find a taxi and you guys, and you follow me. You know, I was looking at him and I told him, geez, no, I got my iPhone. Let's, I got this. He just kind of looks at me and laughs his head off and makes his way off the car. So, after some intense search on my cell phone, because we were parked there, I was parked there for like 20 minutes and he took off like, I don't know where he went, but after I found a way, I went to go get him. But I want to go backwards a little bit, and I want to go where it started for me, and it was watching the news feed on Facebook. It was the news feed was by Shelly Young, and then I wanted to know why this smart young lady was so concerned about this bill, So I started looking into it, and then I started reading into those acts and all those things that directly affect us, eh? And as I read more, I started to realize that those small little words that really meant the most to me was like, the derogation of our treaties and education and self-governance and not the right to consult. They don't need to consult us for the lease of our land and how they could just do whatever they want with, all our land. So, when I started to read more, it started to really affect me, like, in my own personal dreams of someday having a self-sustaining Mi'kmaq government and economy. So that was really the part that bothered me. We started having meetings about, like our local meetings down home. It was, a group of girls. It was a group of sun dancers, a few elders, and our own district captain. So as we read into this bill, we started to realize that this doesn't only affect First Nation Canada, but it also affects all the Canadians and their children that are not yet born yet. So we thought this was big. So the next meeting, or maybe that same meeting, but more towards the middle, Joseph Jean Sock, he comes in and he explains to us, he tells us about Chief Spence and how he's gonna go there and support her. This girl's really hurting and she wants to go out and support her as much as she can because, she is trying to speak for our rights. I did hear her talk many times and that's what she's really doing. And then when Gene came up with this idea to go support her and go on his own hunger strike, we just all kind of laughed and, kind of like, we didn't know what to do. Like, just, come on, Gene. Thank you. This is my first time speaking in front of people too, so. Hey. So when Gene walked through that door, he talked funny to us. So that's what I'll call it, because to him or to us, how does he explain a vision he had to a bunch of people that are trying to be logic? So I can kind of understand that after listening to him on the way up. So we were off. Right now, I feel like, I cannot straighten this all out in my head, but it's really difficult to start to decipher or dissect what I seen or what I went through. Thank you. So during our first approach, we walked through those gates. There was only like 3 or 4 or 5 fire takers. There was only 3 of them. So me and Gene walked in, and we had a letter of, was to show support. We come all this way from Mi'kmaq territory to come help her in her hunger strike. We had the letter. We also had a letter that talked about fracking and how it would affect our own children, and also the Mi'kmaq flag. So we went up and we went around and we kind of shook hands with everybody, and we introduced ourselves, and these people were quite sure of what we're doing, but we meant well. And me and Gene were really nervous of what's going on. Like, we were kind of scared. We just got into that little argument and finally found a place. So we went around. There was a lady there in the fire. In the most fashionable way, or whatever you call it. I felt like I was a warrior. And I came here to do my job. It was to, help my people. And I didn't quite know sure, like that was the attitude I had. And we went up to that lady near the fire and we gave it to her. Gave her the flag, the letter, and the fracking letter. So, we walked away from the fire and we were like, Gene, did you do your homework, bro? That wasn't Chief Spence. He's like, I know now. So the first night we just kind of slept. It was really cold. They didn't have nothing. And the next morning we did our proper how would you call it, introduction and support and whatever we're doing. And it was kind of funny, but see, I could just go on and explain almost what I could, but seems like I'm taking up the time for the boys that want to sing back there. Okay. Well, we got there, and the first week was kind of rough. There was barely any people who know about it, and You know, it was really tough that first week also because Gene wasn't even eating fish broth or nothing. And I really started to worry. I started to panic. I was scared. He was shrinking like